I want to sort of map out some of the ways that I think this moment in its reality and its empirical lived experience has broken through the victim and savior paradigm. And I want to do that by centering my comments on Breonna Taylor. The reason I want to center her in this conversation is because she was a healthcare worker. She was literally an essential worker doing the thing that everyone had rainbows and teddy bears and signs out to support. And yet our state is built in such a way that it took her life while she's saving other lives. So globally, 7 in 10 health workers in the health sector specifically are women. 9 in 10 care workers in this country are women. Now, when it comes to thinking about care workers in the site that has been hit hardest in this country, which is in nursing homes and homes for the elderly, 1 in 4 of those workers is a migrant. Many of them are undocumented. They don't have access to the types of services and the types of social safety nets that the government has been trying to roll out. And 50% of those care workers in this country live below the poverty line. What we're really talking about is this choice to underinvest in communities who we are entirely dependent on for our health, safety, and well-being. But I also don't want to put it in this paradigm of victimhood, because it is not necessarily the case that what we see is just the rampant victimization and exploitation of essential workers, of paid care laborers, of unpaid care laborers, and of single mothers. But it's rather an opportunity to think about the knowledge and wisdom that is located in people who are able to do so much with so little and are systematically underrepresented in leadership. 90% of heads of state are men. And so I want to remind you that 90% of care workers are women, 90% of heads of state are men. If we shift that balance, if we shift that ratio so that men are able to do more care work, women are able to rise to the highest levels of elected office, we will actually begin to see that we all understand each other's situation better. We're able to make smarter investments. We're able to break through some of the inequalities that we've otherwise been suffering the effects of. And some of the women who've been getting headlines actually are female heads of state whose countries have been doing quite well. And some of you have heard of Jacinda Ardern's work, Tsai Ing-wen in Taiwan. These are countries that have gotten huge accolades, and rightly so, for almost squashing the curve. Estonia, Georgia, Slovakia. These are countries that also have female leaders, some of whom had just come into office. These are countries that don't necessarily have the most resources, but by doing what's called participative leadership, by making hard decisions and making hard decisions in public, women have really blazed a trail for how to have conversations that have otherwise not been rewarded in politics. We take that lens of intersectionality, that lens of gender equity. It's really an invitation for us to think, okay, maybe instead of paying companies to retain workers, we could pay the people who are teaching their children at home. Maybe instead of paying companies to stay open, in spite of the fact they have no customers, we could pay people to take care of their elderly relatives so that they're able to stay safe during a pandemic. And those sorts of creative solutions really only come out of listening to women at the front lines like Breonna Taylor.